Hi, Jacob. Can you see me okay?
Yes, I can. Yeah, so far so good.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being so patient. We've been having technical issues, and then now we can see each other. That's great. Um, I'm just on a mission to find out from successful business people what's their secret in regards to their success, and also what's their secret in looking after themselves better. So my viewer can aspire to it, and then perhaps get some tips to copy a couple of tips that you have.
Yeah, yeah, okay, good.
Wonderful. So, how long have you been a director of your company? You have two companies here, one IT and one cryo body.
Actually, three companies.
Oh,
So Pounded IT has been running for over 23 years.
yep.
Cryo, it's been about 2 years now, and Cryo Body just started early this year. Which so there's three companies here: Cryo Body, and Pounded IT.
Amazing. So, what is your why? Why is it that you keep building new companies and, well, they seem to be successful? Congratulations.
Thanks. I think the why. It's interesting. Everyone wants to know what your why is, and I think why has to come from your heart. From my end, everything that I've ran helps people. And also for me, it has to be a passion for me. I need to want to. It needs to press my buttons and excite me.
Yeah.
If it's not fun when I'm doing it, then I don't want to do it. And I think that each of my businesses resonates with that, particularly with technology and health. The two things that resonate with me.
Yeah.
But it needs to help people, and it needs to press my buttons and excite me. So getting out of bed at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning is not done because of money. See, but
Yeah.
some people go into business and think it's about money. For me, it's not about the money. Ultimately, the money is a reward for doing part of what you do, but the
Yes.
passion and the why is about the fun and enjoyment and helping people is really what presses my buttons. And ultimately, by doing that,
Yeah.
they make money, which is kind of good.
Yeah.
keep,
Nice.
keep,
Definitely.
yeah.
You can't affect many more clients out there without profiting from your business, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, yeah. You need to make the businesses viable. If they're not viable, then they're not going to be sustainable. And
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Great. Now, I heard that you had a condition called OCD. Would you be willing to share with us briefly on your journey from the moment that you found out about your OCD and what was the symptom and how it held you back in life previously? And then what was the turning point for you so you change it into a benefit rather than a drawback in your life?
Yeah. Okay. So for people out there who don't know what OCD is, it's obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
So it's involved, this OCD. Surprisingly, a lot of people have it.
Yeah.
You can have it from a very basic need to do something on a regular basis, like tap a comb on a bench, for example, or
Yeah.
it could be that you. From my end, I take OCD and I focus it on my work. I kind of drive it into my work, the OCD creates for me an all or nothing mentality
Uh-huh.
where it has everything or nothing, and that's kind of how my OCD works. If I'm going to do it, I do it really well, or I don't do it at all, and I drive that in. I think OCD though is very much well for my family genetic. I think a lot of my family have OCD, and they all
Right.
have it in different ways. Some of them haven't used it to their advantage. I don't think. I've tried to train my sister, for example, to use it to her advantage, and I hope she doesn't see this video. But she has it to her advantage, and that's okay. Everyone's different. But in terms of how it's affected me, I think it's driven me to where it is, and I'm quite proud of having OCD because it makes me a bit different to everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily. I think everyone has some form of disability, and I
Yeah.
recognise that that's mine, and I go with it, and I've just turned it into something that's a bit positive by focusing it on enhancing my life. And there's one thing I did as a child. I used to do crazy stuff. Like OCD
Yeah.
used to make me, back in the day, actually it's funny, it used to make me do certain things, or I had to do certain things or otherwise I'm going to die. And I basically made one final OCD, I can't do this ever again or I'm going to die. And I kind of killed it, and
Uh-huh.
I never had it again. That was in my teenage years, and I managed to get rid of it by using it on itself. So if anyone out there with OCD, use it on itself and kill it, and then actually focus it on being productive, which is what I've done. It's kind
Wow.
of
It's a
that's
challenge on a day-to-day basis, no?
that's something that you didn't know about me. You've only just learned, isn't it? So,
Yeah. Very good. That's awesome. Now, how many employees and contractors do you have currently?
So all three businesses have about 85 employees. They're all employees. I tend to avoid using contractors unless they're specialists. Mm-hmm. So we probably have about 10 or so contractors that are specialists in what they do, but the majority of what my businesses are focused on employees, because I think employees really put their passion and value into your business, and their heart has to be with it as well. I find that contractors don't necessarily have your business's best interests at heart, their values and their missions and their core values. I think that's why I prefer to have employees, as opposed to contractors. Yeah,
right, because they can blend in with your culture, whereby contractors.
Yeah, totally. You're building it and blending. Absolutely, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And how do they deal with your OCD in the office?
I think, I'm pretty open about it. Obviously, it's hard. People aren't going to admit OCD unless they've accepted it. Yeah. I've managed to recognise and accept it, and I basically am open about telling people I've got it.
Yeah.
I think most people in the business have kind of worked around, making sure I'm a black and white person, so my OCD can kind of be like all or nothing. I'll tell you as it is, and there'll be no fairy floss around it, which kind of is not necessarily a good thing for HR management. So in terms of dealing with people and stuff like that, I tend to hand it over to HR people and managers. I don't deal with managing people anymore because my OCD is very black and white.
Yeah.
And it's not good as a manager to manage people OCD with the way I do it. I'm not saying other people with OCD could do it differently, but my OCD is black and white, all or nothing, say it as it is, and I probably find that I can be a little bit abrupt. Well, be direct. Abrupt, direct, I think.
Yes. And some people may not be able to take your directness accordingly or well.
Exactly. And my OCD, I move on within an hour.
Yeah.
Whereas if I say something, somebody might hold that for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it builds up inside them and they can't let go. I let go of things very quickly. My OCD allows me to move on and on to the next thing, whereas other people hold on to stuff. So I've got to be careful what I say.
Yeah.
Because if people, bond to that and become, it can become a bit of a cancer. Not that I'm saying it's happened. It's happened in the past when I was a manager in this business. I'm no longer a manager. I'm now a director and I have other people managing.
Yes. So it's just in case some of my viewers have a boss or a manager that has similar sort of symptoms, so they don't take things personally. Someone may be a bit sensitive, but as long as they know that, okay, this is the type of person that may be perceived as a bit aggressive or a bit abrupt, but they mean well, and then just, whatever's happening now, and then move on.
Yeah, exactly, and try to bond on the core values of what the business is and what people in the business are trying to achieve, and their focus and vision, and what they're trying to, like the business goals are. And if you can work on the same page as that person, if they're a manager, I think that you can put aside, OCD and personal issues. I think that's people with OCD can be a bit. A bit full on. I don't take any.
That's okay. You're unique. Everyone's unique. Everyone has their own uniqueness. Now, your company grows exponentially. What is your number one secret?
I think you really need to sell things you believe in. And I mean, when I say believe in, I mean you live it and believe it. You trust it, you put your hand in your heart and sincerely say it's the best. And then, you do it better than anybody else, or try and do it better than anybody else. And you do it for the right reasons. You're not doing it. I'm not doing my business just solely to make money. I'm doing it to help people. I'm doing it to help other businesses, help myself. I love seeing things grow. And so I think success comes from that natural process of doing everything right and honourably. And I think that's really what that's how I try to do it across all those three businesses. And I think that's where it's been. And it's been fun doing it too, which is the most, because it's like you'll be dead before you know it. And if you're not, every day I wake up, that's the day you should be having fun and enjoying it. If you're not, then you've got to think about what you're actually doing.
Fantastic. Yeah, bringing the fun factor. Sometimes business owners work so hard, this perception of, you won't succeed when you don't work hard, but where's the fun factor? Yeah,
exactly. The fun needs to be now. There's no point waiting for the end.
Yeah. Otherwise it will be just all very stressful.
Or you just drop off the perch and you're dead, and then you won't have the fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the OCD.
That's all right. It's very true. You're on point there. Now, you recently celebrated 13 years anniversary with your partner, Jared. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Have you ever came across negative reaction from someone just by simply being gay? And how did you overcome this sort of challenges together with Jared?
I mean, I'm in my 40s now, so the gay factor and discrimination has been there from the very beginning. And in fact, it's happening right now with this yes and no campaign. And in fact, if anything, I'm probably getting more offended now than I was when I was younger. But when I was younger, I built a thick skin and about everything to do with it. And I've managed to maintain it right up until now. But when I start reading stuff about people's hatred about this ridiculous thing about affecting people, about someone else getting married, just... I have to turn it off. So anyway, I think the thing is, I just generally pretty good at detaching myself from how other people think. If that's their decision, that's fine. I just don't want to associate myself with people who, think how the way they think. So I'm pretty good at picking my circles of friends and associating myself with people that I like. And that's not just in my personal life, business as well. I'll only do things with people in business that don't, that I have a connection with or that aren't going to offend me. And I think, and I think Jared has as well. Jared's obviously 13 years. He's got the same. It's the same mindset. But being gay or being homosexual, or what we call normal, straight people, I don't think it makes any difference at all. Yes. I mean, really, particularly today's day and age, there shouldn't really be discrimination, and I don't really see that much except for right now with this yes and no campaign, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's not go down that path. That's a whole discussion.
Well, it's a hot question for the moment. That's why I ask it, right?
Yeah, totally. And it's disappointing because we're the only country on the list, actually, like first world country that now doesn't support, gay marriage. Like the list we're on is like Dubai and Egypt, and it's not a very good list. The list that we're on of the no's.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. So thank you for answering that. Now, you seem to travel a lot. What was the funniest story that happened during your travel? If you can share it briefly.
Okay, I've got plenty, but I'll tell you one that was really memorable.
Yeah.
We were in Phuket. It was a normal night. We'd been out to drinks, come home, went to bed, literally laying down for about 20 minutes, and we heard gunshots and bombs and like full on, like something was being destroyed, right? So we've come out of the hotel room and looked around, and the whole hotel, 5-star resort, empty, not one person inside. So I ran back into the room, my partner, and said, grab a passport, our shoes, we're getting out of here. We literally grabbed everything, ran out of the hotel, out in the street, and as we ran down the street, we realised everyone's down there. It was New Year's Eve. Everyone had left the hotel and watched all these fireworks, and it looked like, honestly, we thought we were being bombed, but it was actually fireworks. It was embarrassing, but funny at the same time. Honestly, I was panicked, massively panicked.
Well, I hope that you weren't just in your underwear then.
We managed to get some pants on, but I don't think I had no shoes on. And no yeah.
Oh gosh, that is really funny. Now, next question is very important to me because of what I do. So how do you look after yourself and your relationship?
I think looking after yourself is really important. And during my cycles of my age, I've got points where haven't looked after myself, and I've been over 100 kilos, got fat, and felt shit, and lost my partner. So it wasn't before Jared, my other partner, 4 years, and then had to go through the cycle of fixing myself and getting back into health. Being healthy and looking after yourself makes a total difference, changes your mindset completely. I feel like in terms of your feeling, your positivity, social aspect, going out and doing stuff, when you look after yourself, you do all those things. And when you don't, you don't. I used to stay at home, be a hermit. So looking after myself for me is everything from I'm doing facials. Obviously, you do my facials, which is fantastic. I do go to the gym, cryotherapy sessions. There's a lot of things that I do all the time just to make myself feel good. And I'm constantly doing those. And I think it's really important because it changes your psyche, makes you feel good, and actually gets you to go and do social stuff and get out there. And you don't become a hermit like I did when I get fat and I stayed at home. And it just makes you look better and you feel happy about yourself. There's so many things it does.
Okay. And how do you look after your relationship?
That's a good question. Well, if you ask my partner, he'll probably say that I don't do enough. But, I mean, obviously we from a relationship thing, we do a lot of holidays together.
Yeah.
We spend every night. We go to dinner together. It's funny because we don't ever cook, so I don't cook at all. But we go to dinner every night together. So we'll go out to various restaurants we go to all the time. So we do the social thing that you should do with a family and your partner, like spend time together every night, every weekend, which I think is a really good bonding thing. Even though we don't cook, we do it outside. But spending time with your partner, and just I think the thing is we are opposites do attract, but we do a lot of stuff together, which I think really is important, and about continuing that relationship that you have with partners rather than feeling like you're attached. So whether it's holidays or travel or going to gym or doing dinners together or just doing my first ever what was it, the protest we had to do, the yes protest was a protest, but like things like that you do, and friends and family you spend time with together. That's kind of how we do it. So there's not really any one thing that does it that looks after our relationship, but there's a kind of lot of things that we do. Yeah.
Amazing. So you do spend a lot of quality time together, not just quality, then quantity.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, correct. Yeah, and we don't work together, which is I think is a big thing. We tried to work together, it was a disaster. So I suggest not working together, having your own lives during the day, but then time together, which is quality time. Yeah,
nighttime. Yeah, great. And last question: what is your advice for others to look after themselves better?
Definitely. Well, you need to work out what it is that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And make, if it's to do with how your skin quality is, which is one of the things I do, then you go to a facial, or if it's to do with just aches and pains, and get a massage. I mean, it's everyone has to work out what's right for them. I mean, if you talk to Tony Robbins, he does his cryotherapy twice a day. I think that's a bit extreme. I do it 3 or 4 times a week. You've got to work out what makes you feel good, and and everyone's a bit different. So I definitely like my facials. I definitely like cryotherapy. I'd definitely love to go to the gym to get myself in shape. They're the key things that I do, and probably a little bit of Botox every now and then to get rid of the wrinkles. So, they make me feel good. I am in my 40s, So, whatever makes you feel good, I think is what, you need and what you can afford.
Yes.
But and there's some stuff that you can do that's really cheap. Like I've got a Fitbit, counting my steps. It's simple stuff like that I think you can do that keeps you healthy. It's not that too expensive as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much for some wonderful gems in this interview. I love it. It's very inspiring. So all the best for your future ventures. I heard that you want to franchise cryotherapy. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yay. Go for it. I'm cheerleading for you. So thank you so much, and keep well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.